Well, hey everybody, John Rethlin here, and this is hashtag Ask for Honesty episode 4. Thank you guys for the great questions in episodes 1 through 3, and for this one, I got a boatload of great questions. I apologize if my voice is just slightly rough, dealing with allergies, doing my best though to fight through it, because I got content to record, and you guys got some great questions that you want answered. And if you guys want to send in a question, and if you haven't already, if you haven't just sent in one in the last 3 episodes or in this one, obviously, comment below. I will include it in next week's video. Find me on Twitter, DM me a couple questions, or check out the tweet that I put up as my pinned tweet, Tuesday night, Wednesday mornings. Any movie or wrestling related questions, comment below using the hashtag AskForHonesty. Comment below that thread, please, because otherwise I might miss your notification. I get quite a few notifications, so please try to comment below that. Even if for any reason you forget the hashtag AskForHonesty, at least if you're asking a question below that thread, I know to include it. Otherwise, I may just take it as a question that you just wanted answered right there, and maybe I'll just answer it online. And if I make that mistake, I want to answer the questions the best way possible, so please just try to comment below that particular tweet. But anyway, boatload of great questions, and I got a lot to get out of the way here, so let's get on with it and start with Paulie A from YouTube. And they didn't want to put me on the spot here with this, but they, about it's any favorite wrestling or YouTube wrestling channels that you really like to watch by chance. Graham GSM Matthews at WrestleRant on Twitter. I was part of his WrestleRant radio show this week, cheap plug, but also check out that. And if you check out WrestleRant on Twitter, he should have a link for his, nexterawrestling.net on there. And, the episode I'm on, but also check out the archive stuff. He does some really good stuff. Grant's a great guy. Really proud to call him a friend. I always love talking to him. And also Valena, WWE. Always enjoy talking to Valena. She is really, really awesome. She produces some great content. Jess watches wrestling. Really enjoy talking to her and everything. Recent YouTuber that I discovered. Really, really smart, knowledgeable wrestling fan. Justin, WWE NXT guy. Gaming stuff and wrestling-related stuff. He does some really good stuff as well. And, of course, there's stuff like Cultaholic, What Culture. Official Jim Cornette is pretty much the one I always check out because I love Jim Cornette. I'm a big Jim Cornette fan. I don't always agree on every single thing he says, but he is probably the one I most frequent as far as checking out. And also the Arcadian Vanguard, YouTube channel that has stuff from his co-host, Great Brian Last, and some old school stuff and everything. And also, older Jim Cornette clips before the official Jim Cornette YouTube channel got brought back. But those are ones in particular that stick out in my mind. I know you didn't want to put me on the spot, but don't worry about it. I have no problem answering that question. If I forgot anybody, if there's any fellow YouTube content creators on here that I forgot to mention, I'm sorry. It's not that you guys aren't important, but there's a lot of stuff bouncing around in my head. But you guys are all cool with me. Thank you guys so much. But anyway, yeah, those ones in particular that I mentioned, those are ones that I would definitely check out. Especially Graham. But especially Valena. Bottom line is any of them that I mentioned, check them out. So, now we go Derek. V3 Breaker. I think that's what your YouTube handle, or Twitter handle rather, is right now. I know you've left comments on my videos before, but I don't know what your YouTube handle is. Anyway, Derek S. How would you make the mid-titles, US and IC, mean something again? Tournaments, occasionally. Maybe once, maybe a couple of times a year. US and IC Open Challenges. Balor right now could do, Balor Club is for everyone, the IC title is for everyone to fight for. The US title, Joe could do it, because Joe could just see himself as a certified badass, which he is, and could just say, nobody can beat me, nobody can run through me, and then this way, after a few weeks, you build up to a feud, where maybe he loses a title, or comes close, and you have this going for a few months. Because the U.S. Open Challenge by Cena was pretty goddamn cool. They were going to do the same with Daniel Bryan on SmackDown, but he had to relinquish the IC title due to injuries, which he thankfully has come back from. And Daniel Bryan will actually factor into the next question here. But that's what I would do. Open challenges, it gets fresh matchups, something for people to do. And I hate to say it, but you need to do this for the women's titles also. Maybe not for Becky necessarily, but once the titles are on separate women, whether it's a Money in the Bank or afterwards, have open challenges. Just have something like that, especially if you got a baby face on SmackDown or something like that, or a baby face on Raw. Even a heel, somebody that feels that they can just beat anybody up, like whatever, just open challenges. It means something. Maybe don't do it with every single title, but do it occasionally to make it fucking matter, because otherwise the titles are just fucking props, and they shouldn't be. These titles, these belts, should not be fucking props. So I'd say open challenges. And then we get to Parents 53. Great guy, by the way. Really great guy. And I mean that. It's a great guy. Do you expect Rowan and Bryan to compete at Super Showdown, the Saudi Arabia show, after they both opted out of Crown Jewel? I think Rowan was injured, so I actually don't think he didn't so much opt out as he was unable to go. But I get what you're saying about like Daniel Bryan. He opted to not go to Crown Jewel after going to the Greatest Royal Rumble. Bryan has enough clout to say, no, I don't want to do that. It's like, I got a high enough standing. I'm not gonna go. Ain't no goddamn chance I'm gonna fucking go. Bryan not going would not surprise me. Rowan will probably be part of the Battle Royal. I don't know what Rowan's beliefs are on the whole damn thing. No, it doesn't fucking matter to me. If you want to go Saudi Arabia, you want to go to a country that hates women and gay people, whatever, go for it. I mean, whatever, it hates Muslim people also. Sami Zayn can't go. Mustafa Ali can't go. But the bottom line is I do not expect Bryan to go. Rowan, I expect Rowan to go. But I wouldn't be surprised if we see a few people opt out of this damn thing. I mean, that blood money talks a lot, but there could be some people that are saying, like, nah, I don't want to fucking go. But Bryan, for sure, I'd be very shocked if he went. And then we get Alfredo Reyes 24. Alfredo Reyes 24. Let me try that again. Do you ever see AEW being able to sell out an NFL stadium like Cowboy Stadium within 3 years? No. They will have some big shows, possibly at Levi Stadium in San Francisco. Well, the San Francisco 49ers Stadium. Possibly maybe Atlanta. The Atlanta Falcons Stadium. Possibly Jacksonville. They can hit certain markets and do pretty well. As far as Cowboy Stadium, it was difficult for WWE to sell that damn thing out. I think they had to do some cheaper admission to really fill that damn thing up and then inflate the numbers, which Vince never inflates the fucking numbers or covers up the murder of a girlfriend like he did for Jimmy Snuka paying off the cops. Oh, Snuka's burning in hell, and Vince will burn in hell for doing that as well. But anyway, Vince burning in hell aside, no, I don't believe that AEW will be able to do that in 3 years. 5 years, sure, but it depends. This company could flame out in 6 months. This company could go for 60 years. I don't know if it's going to go for 60 years, but this company can flame out in 6 months. It can flame out in 6 weeks. It can flame out before. I mean, it won't. It can flame out within 6 weeks of a TV deal. Now, I don't think that's going to happen, but I'm tamping down my response or my hype and feelings for this until I get the idea that AEW is actually going to be able to do some great things. Besides just put on something like Double or Nothing or a couple shows like they're going to do like Fight for the Fallen, the thing they're going to do in Jacksonville, where victims of gun violence are going to get a massive portion of the proceeds, which is great. And the TNT deal is a big fucking deal, and that is a lot of money that they're going to be able to gather from it. I mean, I know the deals of it is they're not going to be getting as much money from Turner, or if any money, from Turner Home Entertainment yet, or the Turner Networks. But what is going to happen is they're going to get some great sponsors out of that. They're going to get some good revenue streams if they can possibly start streaming special events on their official website or on YouTube or Twitch or whatever. There's a big ceiling for All Elite Wrestling. But as far as selling out something like Cowboy Stadium, I ain't going that far right now. Now, within 3 years, who the fuck knows? They could be running little rinky-dink things and running like 5,000-seat armories. Not that it's anything to sneeze at, but they could just be running little stuff like that. They could be running little venues like Impact and just be a very expensively backed indie promotion. I'm not knocking Impact, but they aren't drawing huge crowds anywhere. They're drawing decent-sized crowds. But my point is, we don't know what's going to happen. Now, it's great to set your expectations high, and I'm not knocking you, Alfredo. I mean, it's just a question you asked. But this is going to be a rant that I do at some point where I'm going to talk about AEW fans versus WWE fans sniping at each other and just getting in a pissing contest without realizing that both companies succeeding is what matters. But to your original questions, I don't see them selling out something like Cowboy Stadium within 3 years. Maybe 5 years if they keep doing well. Maybe 7. But not 3. It's lofty. I just don't think it's going to happen. And then we get Catwoman 13. Great woman to talk to. I really enjoy talking to her. Funny, absolute knockout. She's a cat, and she loves cats. And she also loves Finn Balor, as she tweets about. But no, she got to meet Finn Balor. You're really cool with me, by the way. Sorry, But I'm really glad you followed me out of nowhere, because I've really enjoyed talking to you for the past number of months or year or something like that. It's been a while. I lose track of time, but it's really been cool talking to you. So thank you for saying this question. Why haven't you seen Mandy yet? That's the Nicolas Cage horror movie thing. I haven't had time. I simply haven't had time. I have so many horror movies and so much shit to watch that what I might have to do at some point in June is just make some time to just run through some of these movies. In fact, I might just take the first 2 weeks of June, because I might have a little more time to myself after Best of Super Juniors and stuff like that, and after Dominion, and just watch some horror movies and everything. I may not review stuff, but Mandy is something that I've been meaning to watch, because I heard it's just like a fucking fever dream and everything. Feel free to send in more questions, by the way, but yeah, if anybody's watching this and you wonder why I haven't sent in your question, well, I'm recording this at like 4 p.m. on Thursday. So that's why I haven't been, that's why, like, if you say in your question like 4:30, I just won't be able to get to it in time. Also, if it's any Money in the Bank related questions that you guys may have had, please check out the prediction videos, as I said. I haven't seen Mandy or a lot of stuff I've been wanting to see, because I simply don't have the time. I do plan on taking some time to watch a bunch of horror movies at some point. But now, Big Bird 432 with a few questions. Great guy also to talk to. How did you enjoy being in my country? For WrestleMania weekend. How was that? Was that a lot of fun? I heard you had a lot of fun. I was actually hoping you did. I'm serious. I really hope you had a lot of fun. Because I don't think you've been here before. He's from the UK, by the way. But anyway, who do you want to see Bray Wyatt work with when he returns to the ring? Unless they rocket him into the Universal title feud to face Styles and then face Rollins, which I think could happen at Money in the Bank. Have Bray show up and just, spoopiness and everything, and attack Rollins, but then attack Styles, and then Rollins beats Styles without realizing what happened. But I think ideally he could attack lower card guys like maybe Cedric, or he could attack Ray. He could attack Ray after his match with Joe, and that could set up a nice feud, and that could be something to go to Stomping Grounds. Yes, it's an actual event that's happening. 70 miles from me, and I'm not going. I think somebody like Ray could be fine. He could beat up lower card guys. He could he could beat up the Ascension if you want, even though I don't know if the Ascension are face or heels. I don't think they know. He could beat up a lot of lower card guys. If you wanted to build him back up and have him be Universal Champion at some point, that's the way to do it. But maybe a guy like Ray, I think, actually would be pretty cool. But I would vote for just rocking him up to the Universal title feud. Why not at this point? What do you have to lose? They already beat him to fucking powder for a number of years. You might as well go for broke. If it doesn't work out with this gimmick, then they at least tried. I'm not personally a big fan of the gimmick, because I think they're going to pull the rug out from under it. But if they're that invested in it, aim high. If it flames out, it flames out. But Ray would probably end up being what happens. But second question, do you think WWE should copy what they did with Angle in 2000 to Becky Lynch in regards to losing both titles? For clarity, Angle was European Intercontinental Champion at the time. And it was a title defense for both matches, or title defended in 2 matches. And Angle, I believe it was Benoit pinned Jericho to win the Intercontinental title, and then Jericho pinned Benoit to win the European title. So the champion, Angle, never got pinned. So they took somebody like, say, Lacey and Sonya, and had happened in SummerSlam, and had Lacey beat Sonya for the Raw title, and Sonya beat Lacey for the SmackDown title. And then Becky, gets upset and that kind of stuff. Maybe she gets too cocky and everything and starts to get a little arrogant and gets a little more heelish, and that's what leads to all that downfall. Okay, that I would be for that. Now, if it's just being a straight up babyface like that, it'd have to be the Authority screwing her over, and it'd have to be a screw job finish. But that's how I would do it. Now, I would have to wait till SummerSlam, only because I think there's some legs with this Becky 2 belts thing. Now, something could change. One or both titles could change hands at Money in the Bank, since I'm recording this a couple days before Money in the Bank. But ideally, I would have like Lacey, and if not Lacey, Ruby. Have Ruby against Becky and Sonya, and have the titles on the line or something like that. But I would say Lacey and then Sonya, and then do those title switches like that. I could see it happening. I don't think it will, but I could see it happening. And then, a really, really good one, by the way, one that I had to think about. What is the best match you've seen live? Now, I've been to a few WWE events, but I've been to a lot of indie events lately. I think it was Mustache Mountain versus a team called the American Guns. That was a pretty good match. And then you had Shane Strickland, recent NXT signing, versus AEW-bound Darby Allin. Darby Allin, by the way, Priscilla Kelly, married to each other. Great people to meet, by the way. If you ever get a chance to meet Darby Allin and Priscilla Kelly, they are awesome to meet. They are great. One particular, I'll say best women's match I've seen live was Thunder Rosa versus Priscilla Kelly at the first ever Without a Cause show, See at the Table. Go to their YouTube page, Without a Cause WA, or Without a Cause Wrestling, or something like that. Go to Without a Cause WA on Twitter, and you could actually find the link probably to their YouTube channel and see me dance like a goddamn idiot. I'm never going to stop plugging that because I like humiliating myself. But that would probably be the best women's match I've seen live. I have seen Taya Valkyrie wrestle. That was really cool. It was cool to see Toni Storm wrestle. I would say Shane Strickland versus Darby Allin if you really had to, if you really had to put it in my head, or, you've like figuratively like held a gun to my head. I mean, I'm not saying do that, but if you figuratively did that, then that's probably what I would say. Because that was a really, really good match and absolutely insane. It was Strickland's last match for Defy Northwest. Otherwise, there's other stuff that's leaping out of my mind, but there's just so much shit that I've seen. I mean, Pete Dunne versus Brody King is pretty goddamn good. There's a lot of really good stuff and everything, but it would have to be an indie match. So for the women, Thunder Rosa versus Priscilla Kelly, and yeah, I'll say Shane Strickland versus Darby Allin. That was a pretty goddamn good match. But yeah, those would be the kind of matches. I might have to sit down at some point and think about all the matches I've seen live, look at the indie wrestling lineups, and then come up with some stuff. But yeah, also support your local indie wrestling. They really do deserve it. Those wrestlers, the promoters, they work their goddamn asses off to give you an entertaining show. Take money, buy their merch, that kind of stuff. But anyway, thank you, Big Bird 432, for those questions. And then we get to Jeremy 8911. Who do you think WWE, or do you think they should move, they being WWE, should move Alexa Bliss into a manager role? If so, who do you think she should manage? Yes, Alexa apparently has been pulled up for whatever reason. Came across the wire today. Not medically cleared for Money in the Bank. Now, I don't know if this is a storyline or legit. Alexa's had some injury issues the past year. I hate to say it, but a manager role might be the best for her. In fact, I would argue that maybe you just put her in a manager role now. She's young. It's a shame. Her skills have never been the greatest in the ring, though she has done well. She has great character work and a great persona and everything, commands your attention. But it might not be the worst idea to transition her into a manager role, because wrestling for men or women, men and women, no goddamn joke. It is tough. It is a tough business. If some people, tough business, baby. Horrible Dusty Rhodes impression. I'm sorry. But Alexa being in a manager role, I don't know who she should manage. If her and Buddy are still have a good rapport with each other, even though they're broken up, why not? Why not have Alexa manage them or him? Otherwise, fuck, have her manage EC3. Bring EC3 back on TV instead of losing the main event to fucking Titus. Like, I don't think it's Titus O'Neil, but no. I don't transition her into a manager role. As far as anything else, leave in the comments who you think, because other than EC3 or Buddy Murphy or something like that, or some of the women, Nikki Cross doesn't really need a manager. I don't know who the fuck you ever manage on the women's side. I really don't. I really can't think of anybody. But yeah, that's all I gotta say about that. That's I would definitely move her into a manager role. I just can't think of who she should manage. And then Brett Bullet 10, should AEW wait till the debut episode of the weekly TV show to debut Jon Moxley instead of having him debut at Double or Nothing? At this point, they need about every goddamn reason for people to pay 60 motherfucking bucks in the U.S. for Double or Nothing. I think Bleacher Report Live actually has it for 50. I'm going to pay it regardless. And the reason they may be doing 60 bucks is because this is going to be like their WrestleMania and everything, which makes sense. If it's going to be their WrestleMania month, they're making a big deal of it, so that could be why the price tag. I'd have Moxley show up. I would just give every reason to say, hey, we're going to do everything. Now, sure, you could argue that they could wait to have Jon Moxley show up if Moxley shows up. Because he could show up in Impact. He could show up in a whole bunch of other indies instead of... he could show up in Impact and then smaller promotions. He could show up in Ring of Honor. New Japan would be pretty interesting. AEW, I think, would make the most sense financially, but I think he's pretty well set as far as money. So if they got him signed, or if they got him to some kind of deal, have him show up at Double or Nothing, just give people a reason to have even more buzz about it, and then they could use that momentum to carry them through other events and into their weekly TV. Normally, I would say wait, but honestly, they need every goddamn reason for somebody to, for people to pay attention to it and people to pay that price. So I'd have them show up. I'd have them show up at Double or Nothing. And then Valena WWE. And by the way, boy, I blitzed through these questions pretty quick because these are the last 6 questions. They're all from Valena. Thank you, Valena, by the way, for sending some great questions. We talked about this a bit. This is one in particular that I'm a little bit irritated with. I mean, not the question, but just the fact that this question has to be asked. Since Ruby Riott is being excluded from another pay-per-view, yet again, do you think she should just request her release? They clearly don't see what they have in her. They don't. Same with Sarah Logan. And even though Sarah Logan has some good moments in that Battle Royal, it just really, it's really baffling that they don't see how well Ruby Riott could be used, experienced, and everything and all that. Ruby Riott is a goddamn delight and a star waiting to be used properly. Now, is she the greatest between the ropes? No. I mean, it's all subjective also. Is she really good between the ropes? Yes. She has a unique style, a unique look. She's a talent in the ring. She's good on the mic when given a chance. She's a friggin' beauty. She can be marketed as an alternative in just a way for like girls who don't always look, like cookie cutter and everything, and could be somebody like, kind of like Sonya. Use people that have a good look or a good background and everything, a different background from what you normally would expect from just, Vince's cookie cutter, blonde bombshell factory. And nothing against a lot of the blondes. Lacey's talented. So is Charlotte. So are a few others. But using women that look different and look good, while not looking cookie cutter, that's what they should do. And Ruby, I just don't get why they're not using Ruby better. I mean, are they just giving her time off? Because maybe that's it. If it's mandatory time off or rotating time off for some of these women, I get it. That's what we've been saying should happen for a while to avoid injuries. But if Ruby's been showing up to TV tapings or has been, losing on main event or something like that, and in fact, I think she faced off against Dana Brooke on a main event recently. And that's pretty ridiculous. Nothing against Dana Brooke, but it's just Ruby Riott is better than main event. They really need, if they don't start using Ruby, yeah, she should probably ask for a release. You're telling me she couldn't be used in AEW or something like that. If she's happy there, happy being used, or happy not being used, okay, but yeah, she should ask for her release. I really don't understand why she's not included in the Money in the Bank match instead of, she should have been the one to replace Alexa. By the way, the one replacing Alexa is Nikki Cross. For now. I don't know if that's going to stick. But anyway, yes, Ruby should ask for her release if she's not going to be used. And let's see. Number 2, your ultimate NXT UK women's versus main roster women's dream match. Her top pick is Jinny versus Asuka. Piper versus Asuka. Piper Niven versus Asuka. Becky versus Jinny, I think, would be pretty cool. The Man versus the Fashionista. Toni Storm versus Kairi Sane already happened. Toni Storm versus Lacey Evans. I think that'd be pretty cool. Rhea Ripley. I know Rhea Ripley is part of NXT UK and NXT. Rhea Ripley versus... I'd like to see Rhea Ripley versus Shayna Baszler. I mean, I know that's kind of NXT UK and NXT, but otherwise, Charlotte versus Jinny would be pretty cool. The Queen versus the Fashionista. I wouldn't mind seeing Isla Dawn versus somebody. Isla Dawn versus Vanessa Bourne, but I don't know between the two how good that match would be. But it'd be the Vision versus the White Witch. But I would say if you figuratively told me that I had to just pick one, Rhea versus Asuka, actually. Rhea versus Asuka. I'll go with that one. How about that? But those other matches I wouldn't mind seeing. Number 3, I notice you often insult... Sorry, I have horrible handwriting. I notice you often insult Alexa's in-ring ability, which I agree with, but you seem to let Carmella's garbage in-ring work keep getting a free pass. Why is that? Mainly it's because Carmella, besides her championship run, has not really been used all that well. I agree with you. Carmella is absolute goddamn motherfucking garbage in the ring. She just is. She was not a good champion. I railed against her for months and months and months. I don't know if you remember that, but I was really, really down on Carmella being champion. Now, Alexa isn't the worst in the ring. She's not nearly as good as that company needs her to be. And the same with Carmella. Sorry, Carmella's somebody they need to put just as a fucking valet. I'll probably do a real honest rant later in the year about how managers need to make a comeback and they need to transition people out of wrestling, because I got a question about that on episode 3 of hashtag Ask for Honesty. But I think what they need to do is they need to put some as managers, and Carmella needs to be one of them. Same with Alexa. Yes, I tend to knock Alexa. That's because Alexa's gotten more opportunities while not doing all that much in the ring. Now, I agree with you, Carmella's not all that great, but that's been my issue, is Carmella got that one title reign, and she had that feud with Nikki in 2016, 2017, which didn't suck. It wasn't great, but it didn't suck. It was okay. But no, Carmella's not that good in the ring. She's really not, and I should be a little harsher on her, but it's probably, again, because Alexa's been afforded a lot more opportunities while not being all that good in the ring, and Carmella, after that championship run, pretty much has not been wrestling all that much. I mean, it's like any time she's on a pay-per-view or anything, stuff like that, she's losing within like a few minutes. Like when they had her and they had her and Naomi team up in the women's tag team elimination chamber match, and boy, that was right after the Corey Graves Carmella stuff broke, and boy, did Carmella get booed. But I agree with you that maybe I'm letting it slide a little too much, but again, Alexa's got more opportunities, Carmella's gotten less, but both are pretty bad in the ring. Carmella's worse, but they're both pretty bad. Number 4, name 5 main roster talents, male or female, to keep our eyes on for the rest of 2019. Kairi Sane is one. I'm gonna lump the Iconics in as one. I think the Iconics are going to get more opportunities and everything. By the way, the Iconics should be on even in the Money in the Bank kickoff, just have them face 2 women. Even if it's a thrown together tag team, make the women's tag titles matter, because otherwise, the tag titles don't mean anything. The women's tag titles are already not up to a great start, and they're only 3 months old. That's not good. That's nothing against the Iconics. I was happy they won at Mania, but was what it was. Say the Iconics. Ember Moon is somebody to keep your eye on. I would say Chad Gable, but it's just Lars, only because I wonder how long they're going to keep him before they fire him. Because they could. God, let's see. I really think Lacey's going to be champion before the end of the year. And Drew. I mean, really at this point, there are just so many people that are seen as stars. I mean, Zayn could do pretty well, but I think honestly, it's going to be, it should be Drew, the Iconics, Ember. I mean, Asuka obviously is somebody you always have to keep your eye on. But yeah, people like that, I mean, I know it sounds like I just kind of threw in some names there. But really, everybody's kind of where they should be. I mean, Ruby and Sarah are 2 women that should absolutely be ones to watch out for. But unless something happens to Money in the Bank, I don't know what the fuck they're going to do with them. Like, those are 2 women that they really should be using better, especially Sarah. Sarah's a fucking beast. Ruby is talented in the ring. I would almost say, I almost think they're going to try to give Dana Brooke more opportunities. So maybe her. I don't know what else she's going to do, but we'll see. Number 5, are you in agreement that Baszler needs to go to the main roster in order to salvage the NXT women's division? This is the first time in forever where I'm finding it difficult to care. This is not Baszler's fault, but yes, the women's division in NXT has been fucking atrocious for a number of months. Probably the last couple of years. Not for a fault of the talents. I love Vanessa Bourne. I think Aaliyah's improved. I think Candice is very good, even though you don't really see her on fucking TV anymore. Baszler's very good. Duke and Shafir are fucking atrocious. But there are other women. Casey Catanzaro. I believe Rio's going to be coming to regular NXT, hopefully. Baszler, yes, needs to move up. Io Shirai is very, very good. She should probably be the one to take the championship from her. But Baszler does need to move up. I don't know what brand you fucking move her to. She's probably going to feud with Becky at some point. Hell, she might beat up Becky and cost the cash in. Baszler might just feud with lower card people and then feud with Becky at SummerSlam. That actually wouldn't be... I would actually like to see that match. Why the fuck not? I mean, at that point, why not give Baszler a chance? Yes, she needs to move up, and she needs to move up soon. Now, I don't know if she's going to lose the title at this upcoming TakeOver, which is actually in about 2 weeks, believe it or not. I'm actually going to be reviewing that one on my own. But I think, quite frankly, Baszler needs to move up. If she doesn't, that's going to pretty much cripple the NXT women's division. And not for a fault of Shayna. I mean, it's been booked like shit for a while. Sometimes they don't even get much of a match. And then you got Mia Yim and Bianca Belair and a bunch of other women. They need to give more women opportunities. Baszler being champion now and Duke and Shafir just not being any good, it's dragging it down. Baszler needs to lose the title, hopefully at this TakeOver, move up, show up at Stomping Grounds, or she holds it till SummerSlam, lose it the night before, and then move up. Something. You gotta do something. And then, here we go. So number 6, and this is before the stuff with Nikki Cross, or, Alexa leaving, or Alexa being out of the match and everything, the Money in the Bank match. But according to rumors, Sasha may return at the Money in the Bank by attacking one of the girls, probably Dana. But do you think it's unfair if Sasha wins? And again, rumors. She emphasized that, by the way, in the question. Wouldn't it be a slap in the face to all the other women who worked so hard just to get a spot in that ladder match? It would. Now let me make this clear that if Sasha returns at any point, it is what it is. If I'm not going to knock the Revival, Gallows and Anderson, possibly Mike Maria Kanellis, who knows, and so many others for wanting to leave, I'm not going to call them crybabies. I'm not. Other people can if they want. I'm not knocking that. But if I'm not going to knock all these guys for it, why am I going to knock Sasha just because she's a woman? And I know that wasn't part of your question. I'm not knocking you at all. But I'm not going to knock Sasha for wanting to leave and wanting to, get better treatment and this kind of stuff and whatever. That is totally cool. If Sasha wanted to be treated better or just wasn't happy with all the shit that was going on, fine. I don't blame her one goddamn bit. That being said, if Sasha does return, if they have Sasha return and give her the Money in the Bank briefcase, they might as well just do that to every single woman. They might as well just go smack them, each one of them across the face. They might as well have Sasha do that. They might as well have Sasha just, just freaking slap him in the face or, beat him up or something like that or whatever. Just punch him in the face. Because that's essentially what it is. I'm not even necessarily for Dana being in the match. But hey, you know what? At least it's somebody different. Alexa got replaced by Nikki Cross. Okay, cool. Nikki Cross is getting a chance. Naomi, nothing against Naomi. She's in the match. Okay, cool. Natty, I love Natty. She ain't going to win, but it's okay. But yes, it would be a slap in the face to everybody, to every woman who may be frustrated with their position on the card, not being used on TV, not being used as well, whatever. But if these women get pushed to the side just because Sasha took her ball and went home, so to speak, that's going to be fucking ridiculous. That is going to be exactly the kind of behavior that is going to say, okay, hey, that's going to teach a lesson. Hey, ladies, if you're upset, complain, go home for a few weeks, and we'll get frustrated and we'll bring you back to the goddamn thing. That's basically what it's going to be. They're going to slap everybody in the goddamn face, and that's what they're going to do. Hey, folks, before I get too angry, let me show you something. He has something to say about Sasha being in the Money in the Bank briefcase. He thinks that her weave is telling her to do things. Don't you? Do you think that? You think that? This is Sir, by the way. You? Anyway, so yeah, it would be a slap in the face to every single woman if they did that. Because Sasha is talented. She's taken too many goddamn bumps, though, and is so goddamn beat up that at this goddamn point, I'd be surprised if she wrestled again for WWE. But if she returned because the company promised her this, or yeah, we'll give you the world, we'll do this kind of stuff, and they're going to run scared, and they're going to give somebody this kind of treatment that basically wanted to quit for whatever reason. I'm not going to fault Sasha if she wanted to do that. She wanted to walk out and sit out her contract. Good for her. More talent should want to do that if they feel that they are being mistreated. That's not what I'm going to fault. But I will say this, if they do that at Money in the Bank, and I mean, again, rumors, it's not very likely that they're going to do it. If they do that, if you thought that I've ranted before in reviews, oh, I will rant heavily. Because Sasha doesn't need the motherfucking briefcase. She does not need it to get over. She's a big enough star. Have her show up the next night and have her have a title match. Or a title feud or something like that. Or earn her spot into a number one contenders match. And stuff like that. Have her do that. And why? Because she is exactly somebody that is an example of what you don't, how you shouldn't use the briefcase. She does not need to use, she would not need the briefcase because she's a big star. The briefcase should be used to take somebody that's about here that they want to push as a big star. Sasha's already a big star. It would be a slap in the face, especially to women like Sonya, Ruby, Sarah, Liv, so many others that aren't in the goddamn match. And the women that are in the match, it would be a slap in the face to them. So I'll tell you this, it's going to be the mother of all motherfucking rants if they decide to do that. So anyway, yeah, that's what I got to say about that. So thank you guys so much for the great questions. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. And again, you can send a comment on YouTube or find me on Twitter and tweet me using the hashtag AskForHonesty Tuesday night, Wednesday morning, or Thursday morning before I, film next week's episode. Anyway, agree, disagree with what I said, like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I am John Ritlin. I will see you soon.